It was our anniversary, and I had everything planned down to the last detail. The rooftop restaurant in Lower Parel with the glittering view of Mumbai's skyline had cost more than I could comfortably afford, but Ananya had mentioned wanting to dine there just once so many times that I had saved secretly for months. The lilies were on the table, her favorite white ones with the soft pink edges. In my pocket was a small velvet box holding a gold necklace with a tiny pendant of intertwined hearts. I had even rehearsed the words I would say when I gave it to her. She arrived 20 minutes late. When the elevator doors opened and she stepped out, my heart lifted for a moment before it sank. She wasn't smiling the way she used to when she saw me, and she wasn't alone. Samir Malhotra walked beside her, his hand lightly on her lower back, as if he already owned the space she occupied. He was everything I wasn't on paper. Tall, impeccably dressed in a suit that probably cost more than my monthly salary, the kind of man who talked about exits and valuations at parties. Rohan, Ananya said, her voice steady but her eyes darting away from mine. We need to talk, now. We sat. Samir stood a few feet away, giving us privacy while making sure he was visible. The waiter poured the wine I had chosen. Ananya took a sip, then set the glass down. I've been seeing Samir for the past 2 months, she said, as if she were reading from a script. He makes me feel seen. He has a plan for his life, a real future. You're always chasing this app thing that never pays off. We live in that tiny flat where the lights flicker when it rains. I can't do it anymore. I can't keep pretending that your dreams are enough for both of us. I felt the box in my pocket like a stone. Ananya, tonight. Don't, she cut me off. I know what tonight was supposed to be, but I can't accept the necklace or anything else. Samir has asked me to move in with him. I'm going to do it, tonight. The words hung in the air between us. I looked at her, really looked, trying to find the woman who had once stayed up all night helping me debug code because she believed in me. You told me last month that you loved how passionate I was, I said, my voice low. You said my drive was one of the things you admired. She sighed. That was before I realized drive without results is just noise. Samir is the better man, Rohan. He can give me the life I want now, not 10 years from now when your app maybe, possibly, hopefully works. I didn't beg, not at first, but when she stood to leave, something in me broke. Please, I said, reaching for her hand, don't do this on our anniversary. Let's talk tomorrow, just us. She pulled her hand away. There's nothing left to talk about. I'm sorry. She walked to Samir. He put his arm around her shoulders without looking at me, and they left together. The lilies remained on the table, already beginning to wilt in the air-conditioned room. I sat there until the restaurant closed. The staff was kind. They didn't rush me. I paid with the credit card I had kept for emergencies and drove back to my apartment in the rain that had started without warning. Her side of the closet was empty. The books she had left were gone. Only the photos remained, and I took them down one by one, placing them face down in a drawer. I didn't smash them. I couldn't bring myself to destroy the good memories, even if they were now poisoned. The days that followed were the darkest I had ever known. I went to work like a ghost. My colleagues asked if I was okay. I lied. At night, I stared at the ceiling, replaying her words on a loop. The better man. Your dreams are noise. On the fifth night, I opened my laptop. The finance app stared back at me from the screen. It was rough, but it had heart. It was built for people like the version of us that had existed before the doubts. For couples trying to build a future on modest salaries. For dreamers who still believed in small, consistent steps. Ananya had stopped believing in small steps. I started working. I quit my job the next morning. My manager didn't try hard to keep me. I had already checked out months ago. I moved my things into a single room in a paying guest accommodation in Andheri. The rent was cheap. The food was worse, but it gave me time. Every waking hour went into the app. I fixed the onboarding flow that had always bugged me. I added a feature that let users simulate their financial future based on different saving rates. See your life in 5 years if you start today. I recorded demo videos in my tiny room, using my phone propped on a stack of books. I reached out to every investor I could find email addresses for. Most didn't reply. The ones who did said variations of interesting, but come back with users. So I got users. I posted on every Indian personal finance subreddit, on Twitter, on Instagram. I messaged friends, old classmates, even distant relatives. Try this, it's free. Tell me what you think. Some did. The feedback was gold. I iterated overnight. Then the break. A popular YouTuber who made videos about money for middle class families tried the app on a whim and mentioned it in a video. This little tool actually helped me see where my money was leaking, he said. The link in his description sent thousands of people to my landing page. Downloads went from hundreds to thousands in a week. That's when the investor who would change everything replied to my old email. We met in a coffee shop first, then in his office. He was blunt. Your user growth is impressive for 3 weeks of real traction, but can you monetize without losing the trust of the users who need this the most? I had an answer ready. A freemium model with optional premium insights and a marketplace for low-risk investment products that actually helped users instead of exploiting them. He nodded slowly. The term sheet came 2 days later. The money wasn't life-changing yet, but it was enough to hire help, to rent a real office, to breathe without checking my bank balance every hour. Momentum built. Another investor joined. A bank partnership for data. Users hit 50,000, then 100,000. The acquisition offer came on a Tuesday morning, 3 months and 1 day after the anniversary dinner. I almost didn't take the meeting, but I did. I sat in a boardroom with glass walls overlooking the same skyline I had stared at while Ananya walked away, and I listened to numbers that made my old salary look like pocket change. I signed. The wire hit my account 48 hours later. I bought the mansion the same week. It was more house than any single man needed. 6 bedrooms, a garden, a pool, staff quarters I didn't plan to use. The real estate agent kept asking if I had a family to fill it. I told him I was building one, starting with myself. I moved in with 2 suitcases and Buddy, the street dog who had followed me home one night and never left. The emptiness of the rooms was loud at first. I filled some with furniture, left others bare. I swam laps in the pool at dawn because the silence in the house was too much otherwise. I thought about Ananya less as the days passed. The pain had transformed into something harder, something useful, ambition with edges. On the evening that marked exactly 3 months, the rain returned, the same relentless Mumbai rain that had soaked me the night she left. The security guard's voice crackled over the intercom in my study. "Sir, a lady is at the main gate. She says she knows you. Ananya something. She's soaked and refusing to leave. I've offered her an umbrella, but she won't take it. What should I do?" I walked to the monitor. The camera showed her standing under the harsh gate light, arms wrapped around herself, hair plastered to her head. She looked smaller than I remembered. The confident woman who had chosen the better man was gone. I told the guard to open the pedestrian gate, but not the main one. I would meet her there. When I reached the gate, she looked up. Her eyes widened when she saw me. I had changed in 3 months, lost the softness from stress eating, gained muscle from the late-night workouts when code wouldn't compile, new clothes that actually fit the life I had built. "Rohan," she breathed, you look incredible. This place, it's yours?" I nodded. She stepped closer to the bars of the gate. "I made a mistake, the biggest mistake of my life. Samir wasn't better. He was convenient. After I moved in, I saw the real him. He didn't want an equal. He wanted someone to admire him. When I tried to talk about my feelings, about missing the way you used to listen, he told me I was ungrateful. Last week, he said if I wasn't happy, I could leave, so I did." She was crying now, the rain hiding some of it. "I went back to our old apartment. Your name is still on the lease. The landlord said you paid 3 months in advance before you left. I stayed there for 2 days, looking at the empty walls where our photos used to be. That's when I understood. You were building something real. I just couldn't see it because I was too busy wanting the easy version of success." She reached through the bars, her fingers brushing the sleeve of my shirt. "Please let me in. Let me explain properly. Let me show you I've changed. I can help with the app now. I have marketing experience. I can be the partner you deserved." I looked at her hand, then at her face, the face I had loved for 3 years. "Do you remember what you said to me that night?" I asked. "You said my dreams were noise, that Samir was the better man because he could give you everything immediately." "I was wrong," she whispered, "so wrong. This house," I said, "I bought it because the app you thought was a waste of time got acquired. Every rupee came from the work I did after you left. I didn't build it for us. I built it because I had nothing left to lose." She started to speak, but I continued. "I loved you, Ananya. I was ready to spend my life proving that my way was enough, but you chose the shortcut, and when the shortcut ended, you came here. Not because you suddenly believe in me again, but because you're scared and alone. She shook her head. No, that's not. I don't hate you, I said, and I meant it. But I also don't trust you with this version of me. The man you left wouldn't have survived what I went through. This man did, and he doesn't need saving or completing or anyone to believe in him anymore. He believes in himself. She was quiet for a long time. The rain had slowed to a drizzle. Can I at least come inside, just to talk? It's cold out here. I looked back at the house. The lights were on in the living room. Buddy was probably waiting by the door. No, I said gently. You made your choice on our anniversary. I made mine every day after. We're done. I signaled the guard, who had been standing respectfully out of earshot. Please make sure she gets home safely, I told him, wherever she needs to go tonight. Ananya looked at me one last time, her expression a mixture of shock and heartbreak. I really did love you, she said. I know, I replied, but love isn't enough when one person stops believing in the other's dreams. I turned and walked back up the driveway. I didn't look back. The gate closed behind me with a metallic finality. Inside the house, I dried my hair with a towel and poured a glass of water. Buddy trotted over and leaned against my leg. I scratched behind his ears. The mansion was still too big, still too quiet, but it was mine, built from the pieces she had left behind. She had left me for the better man. In the end, I became him, not for her, but for the man I had promised myself I would be on the nights when giving up would have been easier. I walked to the window and looked out at the city lights blinking in the distance. Somewhere out there, Ananya was probably in a cab, heading toward whatever came next for her. I hoped she found what she was looking for. As for me, I already had.